Good morning, friends. Thank you for being with me today. Let's begin with a prayer and then we'll come to our song. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, dearest friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar, beloved Guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, saints of all religions, and our friend Swami Kriyananda, we invoke your blessings today. Help us to realize the truth that your presence lives in every act of kindness, in every act of generosity, of sweetness, of love. Help us to broaden our human sympathies, to embrace our entire human family, to embrace the entire universe, feeling in our little hearts thy great throbbing heart, thy great love. Om, peace. Amen. Today we get to sing another Christmas song. This is one of my favorites of the Christmas canon from Swamiji. And this is one that you very rarely hear outside of the Christmas season. And so it's one that I look forward to with eager anticipation every year. And I think it will be self-evident as to why. This is a beautiful song, but its message is so tender and so sweet that whenever I hear it performed, it really thrills me. And so I hope you enjoy it like I have. And even more than simply enjoying it like all the other songs that we've looked at so far, I hope that this song teaches you a little bit more about how to live and a little bit more about what divine truth truly is. And so this is the song, The Shawl of Gold. And it tells a beautiful story of discovering the love of Christ in kindness. And if you haven't heard it before, I'll just leave it at that and allow you the adventure of hearing the narrative for the first time. So like usual, let's sit up straight together. Let's close the eyes for a moment and center ourselves at the heart center, relaxing in the heart, casting away any worries or concerns. And let's try to broaden the heart, perhaps with an inhalation, and just allow yourself to be present to this music and to allow it to resonate and flow through you.
Walking in the cold, her clothing all tattered and thin, spied a rich man standing outside a church, outside a church, outside a church, spied a rich man standing outside a church. The service about to begin. Please, sir, she said, hear an orphan child. The cold winds of winter have come. I've no place to live, not in all the world. Oh, help me find work in some home. The rich man frowned. Don't you hear that hymn? Good people have gathered in prayer. It's a day for worship, impious girl, impious girl, oh impious girl. It's a day for worship, impious girl. Don't speak here of earthly affairs. He walked off and entered the holy church. The girl wandered down the cold street. Then there all at once she beheld a small boy. No jacket, no shoes for his feet. His clothing was shabby, as worn as her own. He shivered against a closed door. Alas, he cried, none will take me in. Take me in, none will take me in. Alas, he cried, none will take me in. Though I'm starving and cold, for I'm poor. Seeing him, she cried, how I feel for you. It's bitter with no friends to live. Here, please take my shawl, it's all I can spare. Though it's shameful, so little to give. She wrapped him all up in that flimsy cloth and kissed his cold forehead and smiled. Suddenly a warmth like a summer breeze, summer breeze, like a summer breeze. Suddenly a warmth like a summer breeze encircled this poor girl and child. And a tender voice said, my daughter, I'm here. No more shall you weep without friends, for in yonder church there's no love like yours. Those with pure hearts, their needs I attend. My child, all men's sorrows would turn to joy if they knew that to share is no loss. For its kindness broadens the human heart, human heart, the human heart. For its kindness broadens the human heart. I know I who died on the cross. Worship means but love, and my love you found by your gift to me here in the cold. And she found their clothes were now woolen and warm, and the shawl was now spun of fine gold.
just close your eyes for a moment now. And try to feel in your consciousness the wisdom of Christ as expressed in this song. Feel how this vibration would change the way you lived if you could carry it in your heart every day, in every moment. And let's make the resolution right here and now to try and live more in this vibration this Christmas season and for the rest of our lives. Isn't that just a wonderful piece of music? The story that it tells and the poetry of it just thrill me every time I get to sing it from start to finish. And of course, this is a story that has such a wonderful arc, and we have to go through the whole arc to really experience the wonder at the end. And it's actually interesting, sometimes I'll skip right to the final verses and I'll sing those because they're the sweetest, but they don't quite thrill as deeply if you don't sing the whole song and understand the context of the whole story. And this story has a lot for us to learn in it. It's about generosity, it's about kindness, it's about compassion. It's also about putting out good energy and being the first to give so God can give to you. There's many lessons that we could learn in this, and we'll go through verse by verse and just read the poetry together. But before we do, one of my favorite parts about this music, I remember the first time I heard this song, in conscious memory. I'm sure I heard it when I was younger, but the first time when I was 12 or 14 and I heard this piece of music for the first time and could really follow the story and was with the singers, I remember it well. I was in the Expanding Light kitchen and it was the Christmas Eve concert, and then a group of, maybe a trio or something, came out and sang this song. And the way they did it is someone would sing the narrator's part. One of them would sing the part of the little girl, one sang the part of the rich man, and then another sang the part of the child. Oh, and then someone else sang the part of Christ. And so it was very effective because you could really hear the different voices coming out. And so it helped to weave together this whole story. And of course, in those latter verses, that it says, out of that summer breeze, a tender voice said, "My daughter, I'm here. No more shall you weep without friends." And he goes on and he continues to speak. I'll just read the rest of the verse because I can't help but. And he says, "For in yonder church there's no love like yours. Those with pure hearts, their needs I attend." And then the same voice continues, who until this point has not yet been identified. And he says, "My child, all men's sorrows would turn to joy if they knew that to share was no loss. For its kindness broadens the human heart, the human heart, the human heart. For its kindness broadens the human heart. I know, I who died on the cross." And I remember so distinctly the first time I heard that and understanding the implication of who therefore was saying these words. And it was so moving because to me, when I sing this song, this isn't just a poetic expression of a nice sentiment. This really feels like Christ is speaking to me through this music. And I think he is. I think Christ is speaking to every single one of us through the lyrics of this song. I know, I who died on the cross, that he's identifying himself for all of us, not only by our association to that historic fact, but by helping us to remember that his great act of selfless sacrifice and kindness, that he knows what it is to be kind and to broaden the human heart. I know, I who died on the cross. But I love that it's such a beautiful double entendre because I think the better meaning is saying that that's who he is. I know, I who died on the cross. And so then he continues, worship means but love. and my love you've found by your gift to me here in the cold. And then his voice ceases, and the narrator resumes, and she found their clothes were now woolen and warm, and the shawl was now spun of fine gold. And that's the shawl which she had given to the poor boy, who was even poorer and worse off than she was. What a thrilling piece of poetry at the end. And like I said, I remember when I heard those words, I know I who died on the cross. I felt this thrill of energy shoot through my spine when I realized who was speaking. What a wonderful, incredible gift this song is for all of us. And this Christmas season, if you want to know He who died on the cross, sing a song like this. Sing this song. And if you can't remember all the verses, there are 5, just sing those final ones when Christ has come to minister to his daughter. It's so sweet. It's so dear. And I've been singing this song throughout this week as much as I can. And it gives such a divine message and really teaches us how to live in tune with Christ's consciousness. So, but like some of the elements we typically talk about, the melody and rhythm in this piece are also delightful and do so much to pull and soften the heart to prepare us for that moment. And like I said, it's actually very interesting. The song isn't as effective if I skip to the end, but if I sing through the whole thing, and I experiment with the rhythmic differences from every verse, and I experience the story that it's telling, and I try and really live each moment as it happens, then of course when the triumph comes, when the triumph of her love arrives and Christ himself is there, it's so sweet. So if you're able to, maybe listen to a recording of this. You can find a beautiful one online easily, and there's a great one of Swamiji singing it. Or if you have it memorized, just sing it daily and see what it brings forth in your heart. Because of course all of us are that little girl. All of us are looking for a way to improve our lives, and we can do that if we love like he loved, live like he lived, and give love first. And even if we feel we have so little to give, that we can give something. And you know, some people like to imagine that when they become wealthy or when they become prosperous or when they become great, then they'll be generous. But in fact, we have to practice being generous now. And it doesn't matter what we can give, but it matters that we give. And then, like that little girl, even a little flimsy cloth offered with sincerity becomes a very act of Christ-like love. So now for fun, let's listen to the melody together, and let's try and hear what the melody itself is singing to us. Swami does such an excellent job of perfectly marrying together melody and lyric, but let's just listen to the melody for a moment and see if it can't help us experience the vibration a little bit more in the heart. There are a few really wonderful, emphatic notes in this melody. And if you hear that the highest note of the melody every verse is just so gently touches on that high note before returning again. And here we hear the sorrow and the yearning for a better life. That after we reach that height of aspiration, there's this tinge of sorrow in the next in the next echoing phrase. That note, the cold winds of winter have come. It's very, very pulling on the heartstrings, isn't it? So when we sing it, we should be aware of that. So that phrase, if we were to put the lyrics to it, "Please, sir," she said, "hear an orphan child. The cold winds of winter have come." Isn't that beautiful? It tells you what she's feeling when she's saying that word. But then what's again so magnificent, one of the things I love about Swami's writing, is he takes that phrase and makes it almost painful in how it affects our heart in the first verses. But then at the end, he takes that same pain and turns it into such exquisite joy and just incredible love of the heart. For that very same line becomes, let's see, worship means but love, and my love you found by your gift to me here in the cold. Such a beautiful, expressive phrase. And actually, perhaps my favorite of the whole piece is, this is also the phrase when we first hear the voice of Christ come. And a tender voice said, "My daughter, I'm here. No more shall you weep without friends." Oh, magnificent, isn't it? And so pay attention every time you sing that phrase. What part of the journey of this song are you in? Are you in the part where it's poignant and painful? And even then, no more shall you weep without friends. Christ knows the suffering that she's been through. And that's in the melody of his voice as he's singing that. But then everything begins to change. For in yonder church, there's no love like yours. Those with pure hearts, their needs I attend. And I'll just say, that single line actually has been one of the cornerstones of the back of my mind to help me build faith in my life ever since I've heard this song. And it's something that I repeatedly come back to. This is one of my more often quoted lines in my own consciousness. Those with pure hearts, their needs I attend. And that I endeavor, and I tell myself, if you have a pure heart, Keshava, and if you are endeavoring to give to God as best you can, He will surely attend to your needs. He knows them better than you do. And this is such a call to faith. And to remember that just as Christ came to this girl and to that little boy, He can come into your life and attend to your needs too, if you are pure of heart and if you give yourself to Him and give yourself to Him in everyone that you meet. So I can't tell you how helpful that single line has been for me. And I sing it often and I say it often. And I joke it even. Like we had a housemate, a guest from India come and stay with us for a while, and they left some dishes in the sink. And they said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I have to leave all these dishes." And I said, "Those with pure hearts, their dishes I attend." And it was a joke, but it was a funny moment because of course she was totally sincere and wasn't being malicious, so I was happy to help. And of course, God is the same way. And He doesn't expect us to be able to perfect this mud puddle. He expects us to learn to call on Him. So let's remember that line, those with pure hearts, their needs I attend. Now that we've heard the song and we've talked a little bit about the melody, let's sing it again. And once again, I invite you, this is actually a good exercise in concentration and on living in the present moment. Let's sing this song again, and word by word, phrase by phrase, image by image, let's just go through this piece and experience it. And the more we can commit to the vibration of this piece from the beginning, the more we can experience the poor little girl walking in the cold, being turned away by a rich man on the steps of a church on a holy day. Perhaps it's even Christmas Day. It's not mentioned in the piece. And as she continues to wander on, let's take this moment by moment and experience it with her. And that way, we too can live the triumph at the end.
A poor little girl walking in the cold, her clothing all tattered and thin, spied a rich man standing outside a church, outside a church, outside a church, spied a rich man standing outside a church, the service about to begin. Please, sir, she said, hear an orphan child. The cold winds of winter have come. I've no place to live, not in all the world. Oh, help me find work in some home. The rich man frowned. Don't you hear that hymn? Good people have gathered in prayer. It's a day for worship, impious girl, impious girl, oh impious girl. It's a day for worship, impious girl. Don't speak here of earthly affairs. He walked off and entered the holy church. The girl wandered down the cold street, and there all at once she beheld a small boy. No jacket, no shoes for his feet. His clothing was shabby, as worn as her own. He shivered against a closed door. Alas, he cried, none will take me in. Take me in, none will take me in. Alas, he cried, none will take me in. Though I'm starving and cold, for I'm poor. Seeing him, she cried, how I feel for you. It's bitter with no friends to live. Here, please take my shawl, it's all I can spare. Though it's shameful, so little to give. She wrapped him all up in that flimsy cloth, and kissed his cold forehead and smiled. Suddenly a warmth like a summer breeze, summer breeze, like a summer breeze, suddenly a warmth like a summer breeze, encircled this poor girl and child, and a tender voice said, "My daughter, I'm here. No more shall you weep without friends, for in yonder church there's no love like yours. Those with pure hearts, their needs I attend." My child, all men's sorrows would turn to joy if they knew that to share is no loss, for its kindness broadens the human heart, the human heart, for its kindness broadens the human heart. I know I who died on the cross. Worship means but love, and my love you found by your gift to me here in the cold. And she found their clothes were now woolen and warm, and her shawl was now spun of fine gold.
Let's try to carry the vibration of this song, the wisdom, its message, and its great Christ love into our lives this week and share it with all. God bless you, friends.